Hello there, this is Miss Kerr, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the model essay for the argumentative piece you're going to begin writing this week. The model essay is an essay that was written by me in conjunction with the other 7th grade teachers, and we hope that it'll be a resource that you can use, that you can reference to help support you as you write your own essay. I want to remind you, as you discussed in class today, that the prompt for this essay is at the very top of this document that includes many different materials that you might want to, well, not want to, but need to reference during the writing process for this piece on the Harlem Renaissance. Again, the prompt is as follows. As a curator, you have decided to create a Harlem Renaissance exhibit focusing on the theme that collaboration and community can bring out the best in people. Choose 3 works for the collection that most powerfully illustrate this theme and write an argument essay or an argumentative essay defending your claim about why these works are such a powerful illustration of this theme. So the first thing you're going to be asked to do tomorrow is pick out which 3 works you want to discuss in this essay and that you want to include in your collection, in your exhibit. And that can be done by referencing the museum catalog here, but we'll get to that tomorrow. Now, let's revisit this model essay. Notice in my model essay, what I have first here is the title of the piece. And actually in MLA style, that needs to be centered here. And when you get to the end of our writing process, you're going to be talking about the formatting of the final draft. I'm going to be illustrating some of that now too as I revise this model essay and as we discuss it together. The other thing that you're going to want to have in your final draft of the piece is a header, okay? And so in your header, you're going to want to include your name first and last, so that's my first and last name, your teacher's name. So let's pretend I'm a student in Miss Barnes' class. So we're going to write Miss Barnes' name. The subject and the grade, so English, language arts, comma, grade 7. And then the date. Now in MLA style, we want to write out the date. We don't want to abbreviate it. So typically, in a formal essay, we start with the actual day. So today's date is the 21st. Then we write out the month, January, and then finally the year, 2021. Now remember, this might not be how you write the date typically, but this paper, the final draft of it is going to be in MLA style. So that's what I'm illustrating for you now. The other thing about writing a paper in MLA style is it needs to be double spaced. So hopefully you can see the buttons I'm pressing to make sure that this essay is double spaced. That makes it easier for the reader to read it, especially if it's a longer piece of writing. That looks good. Notice that my title comes after my header and it's centered on the page. And my title is Creative, Achieving Dreams. I could add maybe a little more there, but it's not just restating the prompt. It's creative in the sense that it's a word, a phrase that reflects on the themes of this essay. The other thing I want you to notice about this model essay is that my paragraphs are separated. They're indented, and you can hit the tab button to indent each paragraph. That makes that first line move over a little bit. And then each paragraph is also separated by a line here. And that's also part of MLA formatting. Your teachers will review this with you again. I want to just read through the model essay with you really quickly so that you get a sense for what each paragraph should include. In our introduction here, remember from class today, you've got to have your argument or your focus statement, and you're also giving your reader a preview of the topic of the prompt and the 3 works that you're going to be discussing. So let's see if I accomplish that here. The writers and artists of the Harlem Renaissance had many messages to convey, but one of the most important was about how collaboration and community can bring out the best in people. Many of the works of the Harlem Renaissance showed the importance of community and collaboration. Of the works we've studied so far, however, the poem Lift Every Voice and Sing, the artwork The Harp, and the story The Boy and the Bayonet most clearly demonstrate the theme of how collaboration and community bring out the best in people. All right, how do you think I did on that first paragraph on our introduction? Next, we have our first proof paragraph, and as you should remember from class today, that first proof paragraph is going to be about my first piece of art from my exhibit that I selected. In that first proof paragraph, I want to give evidence that supports my argument of this piece being demonstrative of our theme, how collaboration and community bring out the best in people. I want to specifically reference how that piece connects to that theme, and I might even cite direct quotes to support me in doing so. Let's read this paragraph. The poem, Lift Every Voice and Sing by James Weldon Johnson, clearly shows how collaboration and community can help bring out the best in people. The poem uses our and we to show people speaking together. Let our rejoicing rise, he writes. Let us march on till victory is won. This helps to show the power of sticking together through difficult times. Whatever the speakers face, they face together. The author also uses figurative language to talk about collaboration bringing out the best in people as they face difficulties. The speakers of the poem may pass through a way that with tears has been watered, yet they also talk about how they stand in the white gleam of our star. These images show how the speakers have gone through difficult times but are now in a better place. Taken together, these lines show that community and collaboration are essential to help people overcome obstacles and bring out the best in each other. So I want you to go back and look at this paragraph and let's see how I did as compared to our checklist here. Now I want you to read paragraphs 2 and 3 on your own. In paragraph 2, I'll be talking about my second piece and giving evidence of how it supports the theme that was indicated in our prompt. In paragraph 3, proof paragraph 3, our third evidence paragraph, I'll be talking about our third piece and how it is demonstrative of the theme that community and collaboration bring out the best in people. As you read those paragraphs on your own, please think about what I did well and if my writing aligns to the criteria in our informative writing checklist, our argumentative writing checklist, and our rubric. Let's read those paragraphs on our own now. Finally, my last paragraph, my fifth paragraph, and my conclusion is where I wrap it all up. In my conclusion, I want to reiterate my focus statement or my argument. I don't want to repeat it. I want to restate it in a way that's creative, but that reasserts my argument about how all three of these pieces are demonstrative of the theme. Then I also want to give some further information about the relevancy of these pieces to my exhibit and how they are perhaps important to the Harlem Renaissance, the time period that we're studying. Let's read my conclusion and see if I met those criteria. Johnson, Savage, and Dunbar all powerfully developed the theme that community and collaboration can bring out the best in people. The theme is presented differently in each piece, but it shines through strongly in all three works. Johnson recounts the long, difficult journey of a people and their celebration at arriving at their goal together. Savage shows how people can work together just like the parts of an instrument to create music together. Finally, Dunbar shows that even when someone makes a mistake, the community can support him. A curated collection of works in a museum centers on a common theme, and these three works powerfully celebrate how collaboration and community can bring out the best in people. Sometimes when people are struggling the most, they want to hide or move away from their community. However, these works show that by relying on others, we can find our best selves. So again, I want you to consider my conclusion here and how did I do as connected to the criteria established that are required for our conclusion or our final paragraph. The other thing that I want you to notice is that the final item on your argumentative writing checklist refers to mechanics or conventions. Is the spelling correct? Do you punctuate, capitalize? Do you make an attempt to use standard written English, a formal academic style in your writing? That will be graded in your final draft as well. So we want to make sure to use things like spell check, which I'm showing you how to do here, how to pull up here. And also to take advantage of the self-editing checklist and the peer editing checklist when that is presented to you in advance of your typing your final draft in class. Please be sure to refer back to this model essay to support you in the writing process. We don't want you to copy it, but we do want you to use it as a template, as an exemplar in writing your own pieces this week. We wish you luck and happy writing.